Joe, what's the overall mood for this particular sample pack?
It's an 8-bit. So it's all kind of like I said, it's 8-bit effect sounding type job.
It's more like 80s synth, like synth heavy.
Yeah, I would say synth heavy, kind of like low fidelity sounding type stuff.
Joel, what else do you use the meter for other than peak monitoring?
This loudness meter.
Yeah.
Kind of just to make sure everything's in the same. All the files are the same volume. Let's kind of match the number.
Got you. Timmy Holiday said y'all should definitely release an album. Was that your stuff on Most Released latest Kanye's videos too? Yeah, there was some of our stuff is on that, and then I think there was I talked to my man Don that runs that account. I think he used some other sounds as well, but we were definitely on there. We were definitely on there too. As far as an album, like it's probably not too far off. I mean, it's something that we've been kind of working on, but not really. But don't be surprised if you see something in the near future. So for everybody that's watching, when you lean over to the Opus, why are you doing that? I mean, I know why you're doing that, but
So
explain the significance.
So if you're familiar with the kits, in all the kits we have these one shots, and in each one shot folder there's a chord with the sound, and sometimes I can't hear the chord. I gotta play it, and then I could be able to see what chord it is, and I could punch it in. That's basically all I'm doing. If I can't hear it off first listen, I'll just reach over and try to play it, what sounds close, and then match it with that.
So Ibenart said, "Do you find it hard to mix since you're using analog and it's not so clean?" So I would say not necessarily because we actually record in 96K up front, so there's a lot more room in the mix to finagle where it needs to be. But we actually also like our stuff to not be clean. Like that's kind of the
Yeah, it's kind of what we're going for. A lot of times in the packs, like for this one, for instance, it's like an 8-bit. Everything's kind of already lo-fi. Everything really sounds really lo-fi already, so it's not really much we got to do mixing wise. And a lot of times when we record, a lot of us we kind of mix while we go. Like when Smythe sends his stuff over, it's already mixed. The levels are kind of already where everything needs to be. He does a lot of his EQing, so all I got to do is maybe do light mastering, EQing, and that's it.
Yeah.
But everything's kind of in place already.
Yeah. And then Illegal said, "Do you guys ever make a sample inspired by another piece of music?"
Yeah, definitely. I would say yeah.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much every pack is kind of inspired by either a time or every now and again, like we'll kind of get caught on like one particular album or whatever, and it's just like, man, it'd be great to actually make an album that's actually in this vein, and so we will do that from time to time. But we try to create from scratch as much as possible. So most of the time it's, would you say like the inspiration is more like in the spirit of a specific type of song or something like that? Because we never copy and paste. It's not like this.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna make something that sounds exactly like this.
Usually goes theme by theme, like whatever the pack theme is for that week. We'll listen to some music that's in that same theme or genre, because it's hard to like switch the different theme every week and really know what you're doing musically. So we'll listen to a couple like tracks from that genre or theme, and then we'll use that as inspiration to go and play stuff instead of just biting something.
Yeah.
We'll get inspired and then we'll get in the space and then do the work usually.
Illegal said the progressive rock one made me think about that because it really captured that era feel. Yeah, facts.
Yeah,
Smythe is all about capturing like that. Would you say Smythe is probably the best out of the whole team at being able to capture like especially if it's more like eclectic?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
There's just certain things that are like totally in Smythe's lane already. He's kind of like mastered that stuff. Especially with playing guitar, like certain genres, he can just play and it'll sound like that exact genre at that time.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yando just came through and said, "What's up?" You guys go check out Yando's channel. Yando does some of the greatest things. He flips our stuff. His channel is one of my favorite channels to check out. I try not to wild out and like say like respond on every time he might like use our stuff, but he flips it so well, man. Shout out to my man Yando. Appreciate you, man. Also, my man Ryan Little is in here. Ryan be flipping our stuff, man. Stu be on like mad content, flipping our stuff. It's real dope to watch, man. So Timmy Holiday says, so what tracks did we listen to for this week's theme could use some inspiration? I don't think there was any tracks for this
Yeah, not
particular
really.
pack. This pack was really more like
Texture.
just more about texture, and so like it was really more created from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
So there really wasn't any inspiration. Like you can usually tell when we're like inspired by something. Like as a matter of fact, if you guys want to go check out the pack that came out this week, um, the what's the name of the pack that came out this week?
Silent Storm.
Yeah, Silent Storm pack. Like that pack was inspired by like Anita Baker and a lot of those styles, Smokey Robinson, a lot of those styles from like the real early '80s. Um, so that type of stuff we were inspired by, but this particular pack that Joel is working on right now is one of those packs where the fellas really just created all the way from scratch. So how would you guys feel about us doing this maybe a couple times a month where we come through and like really showcase the creation process live? It's something that we've been deliberating over with amongst ourselves, but we wanted to see what you guys thought and if it's something that you guys really think that we should do, man. When we come back the next time, we can raise the production value. Right now, we're just running off a mobile phone. So, but maybe next time we can come with the 3 camera setup, huh? What you guys think?
Facts.
Dope.
Yeah. Ibenart said, "Are you guys currently building up an artist, and if not, then why?" The guys are always working with artists. Some of the artists that they're working with currently, they can't really talk about just yet. But hopefully that music will land at some point later this year. But yeah, the guys are always working. They're always working. Crusario said, "You guys' overall sound and vibe is just awesome. Keep working. I can't wait to hear what you've got coming next." Yo, appreciate it, fam, for real. Like, that's all we care about is working, man. Straight up. Ryan said, "I'd love to see this, but more like in the vlog form, like some candid type stuff. I think you've done it before, but that type of content I enjoy." Yeah, sometimes the hard part, Ryan, is like, would you say like the hardest part is the schedule, guys?
Yeah.
So like, the problem is like the fellows will be down here in the studio. So the studio's in Delaware, and our office is in Pennsylvania. So half the team will be down here, and then the other half is up in Pennsylvania, and the half that records, like Zari and myself, it's hard for us to get here during the day because we have so much like day-to-day stuff that we're always working on. So um, there definitely is. I mean, obviously, if you guys have been paying attention, there's been way more content that we're trying to pump out as much as possible. We're not just trying to pump out for the sake of pumping it out, but we're trying to get a good routine down and figure out, like trying to really hone in on what you guys are really paying the most attention to. We already have an idea because we did a lot of testing in 2018. But I feel you, Ryan. I'm more of a fan of like the vlogging format as well. So we'll definitely try to see if we can do something with that. Ivanart said, "Bring the podcast back. Those are pretty good and informal." We just dropped an episode this past Monday with Apollo Brown, man. So definitely go and check that out. Yeah, go check that out. Timmy Holiday said, "Yeah, I'd like to see more stuff like this. Maybe like from the very start of recording. A track to the end would be cool to see. Just interesting to see how you guys piece it all together." You think that? I think that's something that we could go ahead and try to do.
Yeah,
It's hard. It's so hard to do that though because they work so fast. You know what I'm saying?
We could literally just, instead of going into the office, we could just come here
Yeah.
and rock for one day
Yeah.
and just like, shoot it,
Yeah. It's true.
get some footage.
And the hours are always like different too.
Yeah.
'Cause the guys in the office work like office hours or quote unquote office hours, and we're working studio hours.
Facts.
It's literally like night and day.
Yeah.
That's another obstacle. But
Yeah. Like usually on a Friday at 10:30, I will be all the way at the crib and some crew socks and some sweatpants.
Today we left early from the office.
Yeah, we did, and we could, and if I'd have known you guys were working, we would have just came down here. Hey Joe, can you play a few of the full compositions, or at least what you got so far, for the fam that's watching? So you guys are gonna get a chance to hear like what's coming out. When does this pack come out? 2 weeks?
I think next week.
For real?
20th?
Let me see.
Oh, this one got
it is
pushed.
the
That's
20
right,
it is
because it
the
got
20th.
pushed up because of the Dilla pack. That's right. That's right. Ryan said, "Stop playing all the heat." You low key. That's enough. That's enough.
Everything. Those are just 5 joints we got so far. We got them from Smythe today, or a few days ago. So we're going with like a synthy vibe with the 8-bit, kind of distorted lo-fi effect and everything.
Huh?
How many books we put on this one?
It's always 10.
10.
Yeah, but is it? Did y'all split this one too? Is it?
Mhm.
Yeah. So usually Joel does half and then Smythe does half, and then if
Right.
Joel is like in LA, then Smythe will just do the whole thing.
Mm.
Or if Smythe is like out of town, and Joel will do the whole
Joel will
thing.
do it,
Yeah.
yeah.
This joint, I'm not getting a fade out on this file.
Joan is demonic. Have we ever done like an official, like really, what's it say? Are you guys light or heavy on effects to manipulate the sound? Light.
Yeah, I'd say pretty. Like we had a few plugins. Plugins you see here is for mastering. But on the tracks we usually don't do too much. Sometimes if it's like an experimental like
Yeah.
pack where the sounds are weird, we'll mess around with plugins.
But even like, I think that you guys are more heavy on messing with like oscillation and like reverb, like on the actual hardware more than on the back end.
Yeah, a lot of it's kind of going in already with the effects we want on them.
I don't think we've ever done like an official like breakdown of everything that's like in the studio. I don't think we've ever done that.
Yeah, I think we did earlier.
We did?
I think we might have just did like the synths, like keyboards and stuff. I think we did that. We're missing a few things today, obviously.
Yeah. Or was everything upstairs? If you guys didn't get a chance to check out, John and Joel are part of a production. Actually, a lot of people don't know. Wit is actually on the Soul Surplus team too. It's very, very low key. But the fellas are Wit, John, and Joel are part of a production team called Weatherman, and they actually just put out a new project that came out yesterday on Valentine's Day. It's a reinterpretation of some of Frank Ocean's, greatest hits. It's available at weatherman.co. There's no Weatherman, WEATHRMAN.co. You guys should really go check that out, man. That joint is fire.
Bro, the whole thing is fire, but I'm so stuck on the production for Godspeed.
What you say?
So that whole thing is fire, but I'm so stuck on the production for Godspeed.
I love the way that track sounds, bro.
I've been said I heard that video of one of your sample packs. I think the Thank Me Now and Forest pack, and couldn't help but think this had to be heavily manipulated. Yeah, that's kind of the goal, is to make you think that that's what it is. But you know what I'm saying, like, that's the beauty of hardware, man. Like some of these guys' racks are pretty insane, especially Smythe's rack. Smythe got crazy stuff at his lab. Ashcon said, I love your sample packs, but one thing I noticed without realizing is the ones I bought the most were ones without bass or parts where it's just the melody. Interesting, huh? I'm not sure. Timmy Holiday said, what's the synth rundown in the room? Well, actually, there's like, what is it, like 4 synths upstairs?
Yeah, there's a few upstairs. And right now, we got you guys are sitting on the DX7.
Oh, I'll move the halls.
Got
What?
So we got the DX7 that's currently half works. It's a classic keyboard. It's got a little short in it, so got that up. Yamaha. We got the Rhodes. This isn't really a synth, but it's there. Got the Access Virus, which is like I would say this is my go-to. But this is probably on every pack. Everything we do has a sound from here. It says endless presets, so I've had it for a few years and I'm I'm still finding like new stuff on here. So this is a go-to Korg MS-20. It's a really raw synth sound that you can manipulate. You even make drums on here. We did some drums, some of the drum pack stuff on here. See if I can make one real quick. We'll like take stuff like that and process it, do some gear, do the Neve stuff, throw some compression on it, and make like kick drums and whatnot, snares and hi-hats and whatnot on here.
Right.
We can
Now-
do all that stuff over there.
And then normally right here, there's usually the grandmother Moog is usually up here,
And sub 37.
and the sub 37.
Mogs.
They're upstairs in the A room right now because the fellas were finishing the project that dropped. So a lot of the synths are upstairs in that room.
We got these two. Got the Moog Minotaur, which is like a bass module, small bass module. Shout out to SO
Yeah, for
for
real.
letting us hold this. I mean, whenever you need it back, just let us know.
Or not.
Or not. We got the Roland. It's like a Jupiter module or Juno module. So the Roland, I think it's called a JU06. It's got some cool stuff on here, like some Pedios. Do a lot of stuff on there, and manipulative stuff on here too.
All right.
It's cool. We got the Moog, probably the oldest board in the studio, Opus. So me and Smythe both have one of these, so we got two of them technically. And he just loved the sound so much, and I did too. I didn't want to sell it to him, so he just bought his own. It's iconic. It's like one of Moog's first polyphonic synths. So it's something I'll never sell. You guys probably hear this all over all the packs. We got the Oberheim Matrix 6.
Now tell the story about this one because this one was crazy. How we even found this, John.
So Whit found this in New York at like a music shop, and he got a really nice deal on it. So he had to grab it. He grabbed it, brought it back down to the studio, and we plugged it up, and we loved it. And it's not, I don't think it's analog actually. It's all digital, and there might be some analog circuitry in there, but it's mostly digital. There's no knobs. Everything you gotta punch in just to change like the attack. You gotta punch in a number, and everything's on a keypad here. But it sounds really cool. It's kind of out of tune, which we love because every time we lay it, just has its own personality. You can hear it in the track. It's slightly out of tune from everything else, but still sits well in the mix. Got really cool sounds. Really, it's mostly like brass sounds, but they're like all the ones you need. But yeah, stuff like this, like these textures over like the Rhodes and bass and all of our acoustic elements sound really cool. So this is probably something we'll hold on to for a while. And it's not really common, so that's another reason why we love it.
Yeah, it was like he called me and he was like, bruh, they got the Oberheim up here.
This thing is, Oberheim is just amazing in
He
general.
sent the picture of it in the group chat, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And y'all know Zari down here too. Say what's up, man.
What's happening, man?
That's all we got here right now.
So yeah, that's the breakdown. And obviously the A room has a whole bunch of other stuff up there, but we're not going up there right now. They're recording drums. So we're just gonna stay down here for now.
You got me singing that song like it's an actual worship song.
What you say?
You gotta be singing that song when he's actual worship.
Which one?
Red 11. I need all the way up to heaven.
Yo, shit. Any tips on writing groovy bass lines? Can you go get John real quick?
We need that guy in the room for that.
Tell him the fam beseeches him.
Hey, John.
I just realized how naked is looking in here without that grandmother. And that's Sub 37 up
It
there.
looks kind of sad. Oh yeah, and the Mellotron missing.
Oh yeah, the Mellotron
Really
too.
sorry in there without those. Sorry, it's gotta be-
What'd he say?
Yeah, that's what.
Okay. Ibenard said, how exactly do you use one shots? So the best thing about one shots is basically if you have a whole entire like chord progression, it allows you to really add those chords to your sampler, and in essence, yeah, you gotta be careful with that, John, bro. In essence, it allows you to add those things to your sampler, and almost in a way, you're basically playing chords, even just off of just one strike. And so, one of the best things I love about the packs is like a lot of the progressions can be mismatched and moved all over the place, especially when they're in the same, if they're in the same chord structure, and you can basically rearrange them to get like a totally different feel than what the initial sample was actually set up to sound like. So you'd be surprised like how much sometimes like people like to use the one shots just because they just need, they're not necessarily like trying to, I'm trying to figure out how to say this. They're not necessarily trying to use like a whole entire stanza, you know what I'm saying, within like a bar or something. They literally just need the chord. So that's why it's there. Logic said, I seriously love all the packs and thank you guys for keeping it royalty free. No problem, Logic. We're a lot of people are surprised that we're royalty free, but we kind of felt like we have the ability to work with other producers directly for when we need to get not when we need to get royalties, but basically when we work with other producers, we can get royalties when needed. And the majority of the consumers that are purchasing our product, 9 times out of 10, are not going to always land like this huge placement. And so it's kind of like a law of numbers type of thing where, will we miss out like, on like something like 100 Summers where, we don't receive anything on the back end of that? Yeah. But at the same time, what that does is it opens up the door for us to have a relationship with a producer like Hit Boy, and now we could just work with Hit Boy personally on his next record, and that's kind of more what we care about. And this just allows us to continue to get you guys, what you need without you guys having to worry about anything. Mario Hightower said, "Y'all should go hard. Keep it up, fam." Appreciate it, man. What is John doing?
I have no clue, but I did tell.
I bet y'all will be getting them Yandi royalties. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Ew. You hear that?
Ready to go.
What previous albums have you guys heard your samples on? Recently, low key, we've been on a lot of stuff. Most recently, we were on the latest Royce da 5'9" single that came out. I think that was last Friday. New Royce single. I think it was called Feel Negro. Yeah. We were on that like top to bottom. Shout out to Royce. Good peoples. And then before that, it was Meek Mill from Championships album, 100 Summers. Man, I'm low-key having a brain fart because it's been a lot. Like I got to the point where I stopped sharing it because it was like every week we were on something, and sometimes I feel weird about like kind of like I feel like we're blowing up the spot sometimes because it's not really about us. You know what I'm saying? It's really about the art that that producer's doing. So, but we've been on some pretty big records. It's crazy how much content that you all have released. I still have a ton of samples that I haven't flipped yet. I'm getting to them though. Yeah, this year we slowed down quite a bit, man. We don't do every week anymore. We're more like every other week, and we're able to do that because you guys support us so much, man. And it's allowed us to take a bit more time to create, and also more time to utilize some of those off weeks to really bring you some more visual content for you guys to be able to check out. Because one thing that we wanted to do more this year was give more back. And while we can't necessarily just give you guys free sounds all the time, what we can do is we can at least try to give you some good content that we feel like is beneficial for you to help build up your knowledge base on, many things that have to do with musicianship or production or being a music producer. And so because you guys have come out and just like really supported us and continue to buy our products, it allowed us to actually take our foot off the gas a bit. We're pumping out all the time, and allow us to do what I feel like is even do better as a company to give you guys more back than we had been doing. Art said, I found out about you guys through Noisy Images and 6 breakdown of Logic's Bobby Tarantino 2 song. That's what's up. Good. I'm good friends with Don that runs The Most Unruly. We've been friends for like almost a decade now. So when he started his channel, it was, kind of only seemed right that we would, kind of co-labor together on certain projects. And it's been dope, man. We've been able to work with him and create custom stuff for the stuff that he's done for All Def Digital. That's been really, really dope. And then, he's using our stuff on pretty much every project that he's putting out, man. Shout outs to him, man.
Using the hell out of this pack.
What?
Just using the hell out of this pack.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah. You a little more juice, Joe?
Mm-hmm.
Just a little more. So just to let you guys know too, if there's anybody watching that lives near Philly, we're actually trying to possibly have an intern work with us this summer. Got to be very, very knowledgeable with Logic, very, very knowledgeable with, just DAWs in general, honestly, and know their way around frequencies and cataloging. Because we got a lot of stuff coming up in the summer and we need a little bit of help. And so, yeah, if you guys know anybody that's willing to put some work in this summer and get some college credits, and maybe to possibly turn it to a part-time gig with the company, definitely spread the word. We're going to be putting feelers out there probably around May to see if somebody might want to come join the team to help us out here over the summer. I think we already have one, right? Alex is going to be here this summer.
I think so. I know he's definitely down to help out.
Yeah. Every time we go to the Southeast, man, we smell like mad onions.
No.
That joint is all in my clothes, man.
What you get the front rows?
Of course. Then me and Joel split some wings. Them Jones was it.
Man, what time they close?
They closed when we was leaving.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was that early.
Ibenard said, "Damn, nobody there uses Fruity Loops or FL. Sorry, I still call it Fruity Loops."
Dang, I used to.
Yeah, Zara used to use Fruity Loops back in the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, now I mean, everybody on the team is a musician, so Logic tends to lean more towards. It's really more of like a real musician platform. Not to say that producers aren't musicians, but I mean musicians in the most like traditional sense of the word.
Music nerds. That's what Wick called it.
I'm not gonna lie, man. Sometimes I be forgetting about FL from time to time.
Dude.
Yeah.
I don't.
Because everybody's using Ableton.
Oh yeah. I actually still have Fruity Loops on my PC because I still have beats on there that I still can go back to. But that's literally because I don't even know what number Fruity Loops are on right now.
I think they're on 10.
Dang, bruh.
Yeah.
I think
Are they on 10 FL, Joel? You know?
I think it might be 11.
Yeah, it might be more.
Ibenard said 20.
Are you serious?
I don't know if he's being serious or not.
It might be.
Yeah.
He said 11 the GOAT, though.
They are definitely on 20.
Wow.
I was all the way on.
Good God. Literally, the one that I have on my PC is 5. That was the last time I used Fruity Loops.
Oh, all the FL fam is coming out the woodworks now. Ibenard. My man Dean York said FL Studio 20 for the win. Yo, on some real though, FL, the way your drums be hitting on FL, man. Drums be dumb punchy on FL. You ever noticed that?
I never used that joint before.
No, I'm saying like you ever heard somebody that you know uses FL? They drums be mad punchy.
Facts.
Oh, there he is.
5 years later.
Yeah, man. My man Brandon wanted to know, did you have any tips? Hold on a second. I don't want to misquote my man. He said, any tips on writing groovy bass lines?
Man, follow the kick drum.
Follow the kick drum?
Man, the moment you mimic what's happening with the kick, you just made the pocket. That one's crazier. You know, it's like bass 101. If you hear like old school records, the bass line and the kick line are the same thing. Those dudes are playing the same thing.
Right.
And even if you hear like a lot of guys now like trap, some of the best trap records, the 808 is just doing what the kick is doing.
True.
You know what I mean? So,
True. Ha.
kick and bass can be married.
Dean said, "Don't play with us, FL users." Hey, listen, man. We're no DAW snobs over here, bro. We don't. It don't matter what DAW you're using.
All
Man.
use Logic because it's convenient.
Exactly.
You can get an MPK Mini and it comes with Fruity Loops 20.
Oh, for real?
That's
You gotta
crazy.
stop calling that joint Fruity Loops, dog.
Yo, I love
called
calling it
FL,
Fruity
yo.
So
I'm low key
age.
be calling that joint Fruity Loops.
If you call
all
it
the
Fruity
time.
Loops, you show your age.
I just literally, like I was telling him, I still got Fruity Loops on my, I'm sorry, excuse me. I still
No,
got
but
FL.
that is Fruity Loops though. See, that's different.
I know.
You got 5.
Yeah,
So
that's
that
the last
is
time I
Fruity
used it was 5.
FL, the whole like just brand of FL is like, yo, let's bump the prestige up a little bit.
Yeah.
That's what that joint was all about.
Have you heard this joint?
Yeah.
This joint is insane.
Definitely hear somebody with the siren on.
Yeah.
Going ham with that joint.
Hey guys, I'm going to go ahead in the comment section and add the link for the Moog Siren review. It's not even really a review. It's just Smite just sharing his love for that joint.
So much.
But you guys, do us a favor and go check that joint out. I'm adding it to the public comments right now. So Smythe used the Moog Siren. He told me he used it quite a bit on this one. Now, Joe, what's the difference with the
This Minotaur in it?
Yeah, he was saying that
Like the siren.
he said the siren has lead.
Yeah, this like the Minotaur like goes out once you get to a certain octave. I can actually play it real quick. You can see how it just kind of just stops playing. I can find it.
That was a game over.
Yeah, it just ended.
Who won?
USA.
What game? Oh, the rookie Jones.
Yeah, they was just running.
They was throwing up mad bricks in that joint.
Yeah, doing windmills and all kind of dunks.
Because you know they can't shoot.
Yeah, no one know them like that.
What's the name can shoot? Tatum. Well, not
Tatum
Tatum.
was
What's the other boy? Trey.
Trae
Y'all be
Young.
wanting
Trae
Trey
Young.
Young. Trey Young can shoot.
Yeah.
I actually can't shoot. I need a mini cord.
Uh,
But yeah, the siren I think is like the same thing, but it allows you to go up more octaves, so you could have like lead sounds.
Yeah.
This can't really produce lead sound too well.
It's very good. The bass question. Is there a bass player on there?
It's Brandon. His name is Brandon. Brandon, of course. That was the only base question. But then somebody else said that they noticed that the ones that the packs that they bought the most had less bass in it and just melody, which is very.
What kind of helps though?
On Mac now?
What, you didn't know that?
No.
That
Bro.
joint been on Mac for like a couple years.
Listen, I'm telling you, this last time I used FL was literally when it was on PC only.
Dean York just asked a really great question. He said, after trap dies out, what sound do you think will be next on the throne?
That is a good question.
Low key, I don't think trap is ever gonna die.
That's gonna be.
It's been here longer than most trends.
Yeah.
It's been here for 2 decades now.
Cause you know why? Cause in my opinion, now see, this is when this is the stuff that's gonna get us in trouble. Cause somebody gonna watch this live joint and be like, these balls don't know what they talking about. But I always felt like that trap. The reason why it's so popular is because, first of all, number one, it's not really like quote unquote traditional hip hop. It's really more like pop hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So it's easy to digest more so than like boom bap or
Right.
like an alternative type of sound. The sound is like really clean most of the time. And if you're throwing like an 808, like the bass line is really more straight to the point. The drums are more straight to the
It
point.
keeps evolving, man.
Yeah.
And that's why its stay has been, like, I guess, that's why it's had its longevity, because it keeps evolving. It keeps becoming something different.
It
Right.
does. That's the crazy thing is like even like when it first started out, it had a lot more sounds to it, and now like it's still surviving to this day, but the sound is just like a lot
To
more
this
open.
Yo, I mean, yo, think
Like
about
it's a lot more hollow,
Yeah.
and the raps are like more simplistic to
Yeah.
where people can actually catch it faster and actually memorize it quicker.
Right. Well, think about production patterns, though. So think about the difference between a Lex Luger earlier 2000s trap beats,
Mm-hmm.
and then Metro booming.
Mm.
Bro, it's like-
Even Metro keeps changing.
it's
His
different
sound
worlds,
keeps
bro.
changing,
That's
yeah.
different world right there. But then think about also how they regurgitate. So you got Drake doing like that Memphis sound, but then you listen to old 3 6 Mafia. It's the same beats, bro.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, the last 21 record, that joint sounded just like a 3-6 record, like top to bottom.
Facts.
I love that sound though, man.
That
Like,
delivery. Man.
yeah, I just love like I love that cadence. I love that there's a and that's the thing also too that I feel like trap is was so much. I'm about to get in trouble.
Yeah, bro.
The reason like boom bap was so New York,
Mhm.
it was like only New York.
Right.
Like the sound, you know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, like
That was the East Coast.
yeah, but I mean don't get me wrong, like West Coast but they had their own version of boom bap.
Yeah.
But the most prominent version of boom bap was Northeast boom bap, New York. Trap sounds different literally from region to region. So Atlanta trap sounds one way,
Yeah.
Florida trap sounds one way,
Right.
that Mississippi, like, you know, Delta line, or I don't even know what you would consider that.
New Orleans.
Yeah, Memphis has their own bounce. Texas has their
New
own
York
bounce.
has their own trap.
Exactly. And I think that's like the really big difference is like, so you have like the same genre, so to say, but it's still everybody really has their own little pocket within it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And now you have what they're definitely typecasting even in sound design sites as EDM trap.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
you got like that type of joint where it's like that's like like these pop records using trap in a way that's mixing with dance elements, and it's like it just keeps evolving, which means like it's weird to think of it dying or what would be next on the throne per se. Yeah, man.
Speaking of like Memphis and like, I love the way Memphis flips soul samples. Like the way they use a soul sample, it's the best, man.
Memphis is a dope musical town, bro. Dope musical town. I got some crazy musician friends from Memphis, man.
Ibenard said, would love to hear you guys work with Pink Sweat Money. And who, you know what that is? It's Pink Sweat with or maybe it's Pink Sweats with a dollar sign at the
I
end.
think I heard of it. He's pretty
Okay.
dope.
His acoustic sound would fit y'all, to be honest. Dean York said, don't play yourselves, everything dies. Niggas thought rock was that shit till infinity, where they now. Don't be a victim of the present. I mean, I'm definitely not a victim of the present. I'm 38 years old, then, so I'm definitely not in any way, shape, or form a victim of a present. I'm just simply saying this particular sound that we are in right now has been around a whole lot longer than other trends have been around for a while.
If you literally look at musical trends, it's every 10 years.
Yeah, it's every 10 years, but this one's been riding out so long to the point where even East Coast rappers have started rapping on trap beats.
Yeah, bro, it's like it's here.
Everybody had to literally migrate to, rapping on trap beats.
It's here, man. What I could see maybe taking the throne, maybe to help his question since he seems like he wants a more definitive answer, maybe. I would think what may try to take over, which already is topping the charts, is like real deconstructionistic, like broken down soul. Like her just won a Grammy. Someone is like just really broken down. I mean, Solange had a real big record a couple years ago. You listen to that joint, there's nothing in it. There's like 3 elements. Like so.
But there's also this wave right now that they're like,
Oh, see, Dean York, he agreed with us. He said he agreed. Yeah, facts.
there's this wave right now. They're like going back and taking like old songs, like what's homegirl name? Tell Me song. Like they take all of these old songs and they flip it into like a pop rap record.
Right.
Yeah. 32 said, what do you guys think of the future of samples are? I think samples are going to continue to grow.
Yeah.
So when more and more people have more access to technology, they have more access to different types of tools because, I mean, now you can sample right off your phone. You know what I'm saying? Remember, like back in the beginning, if you was using like a daggone like an ASR 10, man, you had like a smooth 2 seconds of sample. Now on a phone, I mean, you can sample for a whole entire song if you want. So I think sampling is really, honestly, I think it's really just really getting started, for real, because the best part about samples is in the same way that like basketball is one of those sports where it's like all inclusive because kind of all you need is a ball. Samples are kind of that same way where you might not be able to play an instrument, but if you could find a sample that can play that chord for you, now you can build the foundation of something to actually be able to create yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I think samples are really just really just beginning 32. And we definitely know some things behind the scenes that prove that it's really just getting really started to get its foothold in like the in the consciousness of just like the general public, because it still hasn't gotten there yet. But we're really close to it getting into the consciousness of just the general public. My daughter is 12 and she knows what samples are. You know what I'm saying? So it's only a matter of time before a kid that's 7 and 8 knows. I mean, there are kids right now that already know how to sample. I've seen Alicia Keys and Swiss Beats kid. He'd be
Oh
sampling.
my gosh.
And he's nice.
Yeah. that
What's he
kid's
like,
nice.
7?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, it's I also think like we might see in some coming years some interesting things that'll allow some of the red tape to fall off some of the bigger records. Like see people be able to access these real big records again, like when they used to have the budgets back in the day for samples. We might see something interesting with that.
Someone's fire, dog.
Yeah.
I remember I was listening to G Unit.
At the office.
Yeah, I was on my way down here. I was listening to Buck's first album.
Yeah, that's funny.
To go back to T.I. Urban Legend.
Right.
D. York said, bold statement, but I believe it to be true. The longer it takes a sound to hit the general market, the longer it lives on because it has time to evolve into different formats or different markets. Trap, rap, and rock. I feel that. I feel that. You know what I'm saying? 32 said, do you ever think VSTs and analog will ever sound the same? Absolutely not. It's like impossible, in my opinion.
Yeah. They've gotten dangerously close. So
Yeah.
Definitely, it more so depends on who's playing it.
Yeah, not unless. Well, I will say this: with the development of, like my man Kama says, with the development of AI, you know what I'm saying.
I hate that.
But now with the development of AI, might low key be able to get the closest it's ever been. You know what I'm saying. But I think that analog is just always going to sound the way it sounds. It's just really hard to replicate that. You know what I'm saying. I've been Hart said that the tune sound is crazy. I don't know how y'all make it sound fuller. It's because it's actual instruments, and it's actually a lot of times it's not really a whole lot of detune. It's just a filter that the fellas are adding to the instrument that makes it move more so. But that's why it sounds full, because it's coming from hardware and not from a digital source. Well, I think we're going for about an hour, guys. So I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for the night. Appreciate you guys checking in, though. Joe, you want to say anything for hopping off?
Thanks for your support, and well,
John, you got anything you want to say?
Yeah, thank you all for the support. We got a lot of great things coming, especially with this media content and the channel. Please, stay tuned, follow the channel, and share with friends.
Zara, you got anything to say?
Yeah, we appreciate y'all stopping by and checking out the live stream tonight, man. Just make sure you put your notifications on so you always know what we got going on over here, and we'll always keep you guys posted and it'll shoot straight to you.